Dr. Luther Hampton, President and CEO of Luther Learning, LLC. It's an educational firm dedicated to helping people and organizations find their cutting edge. Dr. Hampton focuses on developing your successes rather than your problems in a highly personalized program tailored to you. With compassion and understanding, Dr. Hampton will work with you to help build on your strengths and attain the personal growth you're committed to achieving. This is what makes him unique. Dr. Hampton possesses certifications in life coaching, stress and time management, and can help you grow in your personal life, relationships, and career. In addition, Dr. Hampton is an expert in leadership and educational consulting. And now, Dr. Luther Hampton on Christian Living Radio.
Well, welcome to the Dr. Luther Show. I'm pleased to have as my guest today, Brother Darryl Gooden, and we're going to have a ball today. But first, before we start out, just want to start out with some prayer. Father, we thank you so much. You've been so gracious to us. We thank you for our guest today. We thank you for Pastor G and the staff here at Christian Living Radio. There's so much going on here. There's so much that you want us to do, and so much that you're helping us to do. And we just give you praise today, Lord, as we launch out into the deep today in Jesus' name. Well, again, I'm back, and we've got Brother Darryl Gooden here. I've got his bio here. I'm not going to read it all. It's so extensive. But I just want you to know that I really appreciate this, brother.
Thank you.
And welcome to the show. And I just want to get him started and talking a little bit about his background and what he does now. He does some wonderful things with teachers, and he's just changing the whole dynamics of what's going on out there and supporting teachers. But his story is a story that should be heard, and I want you to hear it. So Brother Darryl, would you just get started and tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to here to now?
Yes. I was originally born and raised in a small town called Shelby, Mississippi, a population of maybe about 1,800 people, and raised by a single parent, 14 other siblings. It was one of those times in life in the early 70s in many, small towns that 90% of everybody's on the Section A, welfare, Section 8 homes, food stamps, just a small community and there's pretty much no way out. And the average person around there has about a 5th grade education. Wow. So with that said, that tells you a whole lot right there. As they say, you'll be a statistic because of your education background. And I wanted to prove a lot of people wrong. Because of that, what they said, and some of the things that they said about me as a child and as growing up, with me being diagnosed with ADHD, speech impediment, and learning disability, along with my twin sister. And when I spoke about earlier about, being, with a 3rd, 4th grade education, and you have your parents, they don't know very much about it and trying to push you and getting in, finishing in school, is about surviving. It's about working. It's about taking care of the nouns right now. So that's what pretty much went on a whole lot.
So you told me before, when we were talking before, you said that you had a little break in there. Things were going bad, but you had a relative or something that helped. Tell us a little about how the relative kind of transitioned you.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about
as a child, when I spoke before, we was talking about me having an ADHD, speech impediment, and learning disability. Along with that came in behavior. And I was the teacher's nightmares. I spent more time at home than I were at school because teacher was like, look, get out of my classroom now. I mean, look, you're interrupting our class. We already got 35 students up in here, and you're not going to run my class. And I used to cuss teachers out.
Wow.
I used to say bad things to them. And now here's your mom has 15 other kids she have to worry about, and little old Darryl ripping it up everything and just pretty much messing it up, but I didn't know what I was doing as a child disturbing the class. And that I was a step away from being in special ed. So when I got to be 8th grade, and I spoke to you earlier about it, that being down south, all the young black kids want to either be in the band, all right, or doing something musical. It was something about the black college atmosphere that gives the young black kids hope down south. Yeah. And I was in the band. And when I was in the band, I was playing the bass drum. And it was amazing. I enjoyed. We go to different colleges, different high school, go do band battles and everything, and we win. It was great.
So despite your hardships and all that, you found something that you were really into.
Yes,
and something that really made you feel real.
Made me feel real. Yeah. Made me feel I was part of something. But then one day, during recess time, I was out playing football with actually the football guys that actually play football, who was playing for at halftime. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys on the team threw me a touchdown. And I scored a touchdown on one of the two guys that actually played. And I took the ball. And back then, you had some of the guys on the team on NFL had their socks pulled up to their ankles, up to their knees, and they spike the ball and they do like the little funky chicken day.
Billy White shoes.
Billy White shoes. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And I spiked the ball and did what he did, and I hit one of the guys right in the chest. And from that, we got in the fight. And the coach saw us fighting, about to get in the fight, and he said, "Look, you need to take that negative attitude and put it out here on the football field." Mm-hmm. And I returned and said to coach, like my normal self, football is for suckers. Wow. Football is for suckers. He told me, get down and give me 10 push-ups. And I looked at the man. I was like, what? What's wrong with you? And then I get down to do the 10 push-ups and I get back up. He said, look, you need to really consider coming out here and playing football. I said, I don't know. So I went on and went home. Mm-hmm. And I told my sister Rita about it, and I said, look, Rita, this coach bugging me about playing some football. Nobody want to play no football. I'm in the band, having a good time, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I like, in the music. And she went and talked to my mom. My mom said to her, what he needs to do is get Jesus in his life. Right. That's what she said. You need to get Jesus in his life. And because of his attitude is so bad, every time you look around, he's in trouble. But my sister said, look, Mom, this is probably something that can keep him out of trouble. So I decided to go out, and Coach told me to go get the permission, take a physical, and come on out here. And I proceeded to start, going out there on the football field and showing my little skills, what I had. And he asked me, do I know anything about football? I said, yeah, Franco Harris, running back for the, Pittsburgh Steelers. He's the man, because back in the 70s, it was always a battle between Dallas and Pittsburgh. And so Pittsburgh's my team. So Coach put me in there, do a quick pitch left. I got the ball. The linebacker came and knocked me out, literally. And he looked over me and said to me, how you like us now? We got shoulder pads and helmets on now. And I said, get off me. I pushed them off me, and it was like, all right, let's do it again. Coach like, Darryl, get up and get back over here. And I get back in there, he do it, quick pitch right. And pitched the ball to me. Here we go again. Bam! Knocked me out again. I said, look, what's going on with this pitcher? I think y'all setting me up, because after we got into it out there at recess time and I did what I did, it seemed like, everybody, I guess I was getting protected. Yeah. But now it seemed like they opened up the floodgate and they just knocking me out, saying, look, welcome to the game of football. But after that, Coach brought me to the sideline and said, have you ever heard of stiff hand? And stiff hand is what Walter Payton used to do to get ball players off him. Sweetness. Yeah. And he showed me, and he said, look, when they come up to you, take your hand, put on the helmet, and get them off you. So we did another quick pitch left. The guys came up to hit me. I put my hand out, bam, knocked them off me and ran a 50-yard touchdown. I like a pack of dogs after me. I was just going. Got in the end zone. I looked around. The offensive lineman, the wide receiver, the quarterback, they all met me in the end zone. And that's when I knew I was really, really a part of something.
Wow.
And that really changed my life at that time, at that moment. And it felt like I couldn't wait to get out there in that football field. But my attitude began to change a little bit, a whole lot. But my grades was decreasing instead of increasing because I was a DF student. And from what I was told, that with this ADHD and this speech impediment and slow learning disability, I got this sort of kind of disease in a sense because I didn't know how to read and write.
Amazing. And you were what grade?
I was in the eighth grade. Eighth grade.
Not knowing how to read and write.
Not knowing how to read and write.
Wow.
So, and with that, anger came because they wanted to take football away from me.
Something now that you love.
Something now I love. And this is when my cousin stepped in from Illinois and said, you know what? I'm going to come out to Mississippi and come get you and bring you up here and give you a better life if your mom allow you. So my mom signed off and said, take them. I mean, she had my bags already packed.
Ready?
Hey, here you go. Get them out of here. Quick. So she took me up there and to her home, and it was like Bel Air, like Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I mean, here I am, this ghetto kid, and my cousin, she only had one daughter, and her daughter was like a princess. I mean, their home was beautiful, and I was going like, wow. Check this out, beautiful car. That dogs was cleaner than me. They was taking the dog. I was like amazing. Dog walking around with a nice little change. I'm like, the dog stepping around the house. I'm like, wow, I'm at the right place. So she began to say, hey, you know what? I see you like to play sports. Let me get you up to Cahokia High School. They got a summer program and basketball. So I got up there, and these guys can hoop. I mean, they teach you the techniques of the game. So from that, went on to SIU Edwardsville, Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. I went there and went to camp, and I was ranked number 2 at the end of the camp, basketball out of 400 kids. Oh, I'm happy. Oh, I'm amazed, feeling great. Go back fall time for school to sign up for school. Get out there practicing football. They come and tell me I don't have the grades. So I have to they were going to take me back to the 8th grade. And I walked from the school 3 miles back to my cousin's house.
So you've come out of some adverse situations, raised up, being diagnosed with whatever they're diagnosing you, had attitude, learned to, you got into the band, started enjoying that. Then you transitioned into football, something that you really, really loved. And now you transition out of that into a whole new environment. Mm-hmm. And now you're saying that in that new environment, you're being rejected?
Being rejected.
Oh, my goodness.
So it seemed like doors just keep closing, and nothing is happening. And I mean, with a kid with this with my attitude, I was like, why me, God? Why this keep happening to me? Then on top of that, my twin sister dropped out in the 8th grade, 15 years old, and had a set of twins at the age of 15. So it was like more and more. And now, not only I'm a brother, now I'm an uncle helping to babysit. I mean, it was one thing after another. All my sisters started having babies before they hit 17 years old. It was on and on and on. So I ended up going back to Mississippi.
Wow, what was that? I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, you're in an environment that you're loving. People are loving you, and you see a whole new life, and now it's taken from you. And you're back to square one. Yes, that's amazing.
Right.
That I am so glad he's bringing this up because there are many others out there. I minister to people all the time. Even in my coaching practice that need acceptance. Scripture tells us that you've been accepted in the beloved. And I want you to know that there's a way out of that. So we're going to continue this discussion. We're going to break a while, for a commercial, but we're going to continue this discussion. It is actually riveting. I really enjoy hearing this because I know where he is now, and you're going to find out where he is now. But to know where he came from and to see what he's doing now, you'll know there's a God. So it's just amazing. I'm overwhelmed with it, but I know that God is good, and that he's continuing to bless both of us. And I just look forward to just continuing this conversation and learning more about you and letting the audience know more about you and what you're doing for the people out there, teachers, and so on and so forth. And we'll get into that. We'll be right back.
Christian Living Radio.com.
This is Dr. Luther Hampton again with my guest, Darryl Gooden, Brother Darryl Gooden, and we were talking about his transition. He was born in Mississippi, had I would say challenging, for lack of a better term, life. He moved by a gracious cousin, moved him to Chicago. He saw some good things there, but then disappointment again. He had to go back to Mississippi. That's where we are now. So kind of elaborate. Now you're back to Mississippi and what's happening?
I was finding myself getting right back in the same rut with the same guys that I was getting in trouble with, and trying to get back on track, to get back on the football, and to see where that's going to take me. So I began to get back on the team, and see school started, coaches them all welcomed me back, and they thought they was going to lose me, while I was there in Illinois, and they was like, okay, you're here now, you're back, let's make the best of it. So I started doing well in football, but my grades wasn't there. I had like a 1.98 GPA, and they came out with this rule called no pass, no play. So if you don't make the grades, you don't play. So now I'm panicking. What I started doing, like what everybody else was doing, I started copying. Wow. Off the girls next to me, the guys next to me. I had this one young lady by the name of Maybelline Taylor, and she was the smartest something in our class. So I used to literally just copy off her, and that's how I really made it.
Wow!
Just to get my grades up.
Where were the teachers at when you were doing all? I mean, they
was at the desk with their head down, and we was doing anything, everything. Passing the tests around, writing on little pretty notes.
And they sat at the desk.
At the desk, didn't know what was going on. But then again, I think some of them knew what was going on, and they knew our level of education and the way we spoke, the way we act, the way we carried ourselves.
Right.
They knew our level, expectation. So as the years progressed, I got into basketball.
Okay.
More, because that's where I was in Illinois playing basketball, and I started excelling in basketball. Come my senior year, we only had maybe about 3-4 seniors on the team. We had like 8th graders and 9th graders, because in Mississippi, we don't have that many kids. So the young men that's on the 8th grade and 9th grade, they play with the high school boys, play varsity.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like here you got seniors, varsity, junior varsities, and they got their own squad. We barely had enough kids in the school to even have a team. So we end up as the basketball team. Our record was probably 14-18. We made it to the state. First time in the history of that town in basketball. All that learning I had back in the days in Illinois, going to basketball camp, I used those techniques, what I have learned.
Wow, that was just one camp. You went and got...
And those little one things that they showed me helped me and excel in basketball. So from the basketball, we won the state. 2A state champ. First time ever. So Coach Jennings asked me to come to the office. And my mind wasn't even thinking about college football, college basketball, track. Wasn't even thinking about that. It was either go to the military, work at the factory, or go chop cotton. Those was the three options that we had as job, And he called me into the office, and a couple of colleges was talking to me, and it was Southern Mississippi, Mississippi State, Delta State. So Coach came in there and said, look, I want to show you something. He opened up a bag and pulled out all these letters from over 20 different universities and college that wanted me to come and play for him. But he said to me, I figured that you didn't want to play because you didn't have the grades. And I didn't want to embarrass the coaches and telling the coaches to get you, knowing that you're a DF student. And that hurt me because they made me feel like he had no confidence in me at all. But then he came to me and said to me, would you go to my alma mater, which was Jackson State University? So I end up signed with Jackson State. I get on campus.
So, but you got out of high school, though.
Got out of high school.
I mean, with the GPA.
With the GPA, copping it with a 2.0 GPA. And I got on the campus and I looked around. There's the Q dogs, the fraternity jumping around, all these beautiful women like a kid in the candy store. These young men walking around with a bag on it, giving out flyers. Somebody, it's a party going on tonight. I got on that campus. I looked around. I say, I'm going to flunk out. I am not going to go to class. I'm not. They got so many activities, so many things are going. I said, I'm going to flunk out. So I end up leaving. I said, I'm not going to go here. I went to the community college called Mississippi Delta. Mm-hmm. And by going there, I knew this would probably be my level. So the coaches said, we knew you'd be here. So that's why we kept a position for you. So I get there. After the first year playing ball there, came to our spring season, coaches said, some of you guys might not make it on the team because you don't have the grades. So it was 55 of us plus the coaches in the locker room. And I stood up and I told Coach, I don't know how to read and write. Another ball player stood up. I don't know how to read and write. About 14 of us. Coaches and them looked at each other like, what? You had your teammates giggling, calling you dumb and everything, giggling and all. So Coach's wife, Miss Southwood, took on all of us. Only 6 of us stayed in college. The rest went home because their pride got in the way. Pride.
Wow.
She took us all the way back. She took us all the way back to first grade. She taught us our ABCs and our 1, 2, 3s. Here I am, 19 years old, 20 years old, to teach me my ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Adjectives, nouns, pronouns, how to speak, and all of this. She took us back. And like I say, some of the guys, they quit because their pride got in the way because they was from Texas, Alabama, California, New York, and they was pushed along through the system too.
Through the system.
Because of their sports ability. After being at the community college, University of Houston came knocking at the door. Andre Ware just won the Heisman Trophy.
I remember that.
And when he won the trophy and everything, they were sending all the information to us. We want you here. Same thing at University of Houston. The college was just too big. So this one coach by the name of Ken Sparks, from an NAIA school called Carson Newman College in Jefferson City, Tennessee. This coach said, I know Houston wanted to offer you all of these things. Mm-hmm. But the only thing that I can offer you is a personal relationship with Jesus Christ and a free education.
My God. My God.
And when he said that to me, last time I heard that word about God, it was from my mama.
From your mom. I remember that.
That was the last time I ever heard anything about God. So I knew this was the place for me to be. This wasn't a coach. This coach never ever taught about football, ever, to none of us. He always saw us walking and say, how's your heart with God? When we go to the lunchroom, when we're walking down the sidewalk, when we come to the dressing room, how's your heart with God? This is what Ken Sparks. He won over probably about 4 or 5 NAIA championship. This man was a true soldier of God. And he wanted us to be the best we can be. We only had probably about 40 minorities in the whole college. East Tennessee. Just imagine when the janitors is all white, the teachers are all white.
Wow.
I mean, everything is all white. And this man, he really, really cared about our life. And he said, football is going to take care of itself. You need a relationship with God and getting your education. I mean, and that was his word. So I took on that, and I met some young ladies walking across campus, and I asked them to assist me on reading and writing. And then they told me, meet me at the library at 6 o'clock. I was faithfully meeting these young girls at the library, and they was teaching me how to read and write. Also, my brother told me, you need some guidance in your life, which one of them retired. And the guidance was that he retired from the Army. So they had the ROTC. So I joined the ROTC, and I went to Fort Knox. And that really showed me the world and how the world really treats you. You know, they made it so real there at Fort Knox. And how the drill sergeant took you through all these drills, put you in these gas chambers. I mean, went through the whole shebang of the military. And I graduated out of Fort Knox Officer School. And I get back to campus. My whole life really changed. I was more respectable of respecting myself.
My God.
Respecting my teammates. I mean, my whole life was changed. I graduated from college.
Amen.
Got my degree.
Wow.
And I got drafted to play pro football. And I got drafted and went on to the Canadian League and went up to the team with the Winnipeg Blue Bomber. And I came back, finished up some more classes, and went back to go play ball again.
Wow.
So I got opportunity to travel around the world to see things I never thought I would ever see, meet people I ever thought I'd never ever meet.
Far cry from Mississippi. Huh?
It really took me on a journey. And from that, I ended up here in Arizona, playing for the Arizona Rattlers.
All right.
And after my season with the Rattlers, I began to go and do a lot of speaking engagement. Mm-hmm. Going out speaking, talking about my life and how I got started, you know, and all. And that's what most ball players do. You know what I'm saying? You know, go out and do speaking or become coaches, working with kids at Boys and Girls Clubs or something. But my thing was I was out doing speaking. So this young lady by the name of Lorraine Newman came to me and she said, we need young black men like you to become teachers. I say, who am I going to teach? I was a DF student, barely graduated out of college. Who's going to? She said, you have something special about you.
Yes.
And she said, we need you in our school system. You have your degree. I said, yes, ma'am. So I'll go to the education department here in Arizona with my transcript and got my substitute certification.
Certification, yeah.
And I went down to Roosevelt School District, which I never been to South Phoenix. I've been here for 8 months and never been to South Phoenix. I saw kids look like me. I seen kids that act like me and everything. Even the parents, being single parents, dropping the kids off looking like my mama, coming with that, you know, Susan hat on the head, twisted with some flip-flops on, sweatpants. I mean, dropping the kids off and heading out. So I began to become a substitute teacher. As being that teacher in the classroom, I had this one kid kept interrupting my class all the time. It was about 40 kids in my class. And I would go from one class to another class and substitute. Yeah. But this young man kept messing my class up. And I called the young man up to my desk. I said, look, I need to talk to you. He's about 6'2", about 280 pounds. And he looked at me and he said to me, what you want, nigga? And I said, huh? He said, you heard me, nigga. I said, what? Wow. I said, and I looked up at the sky. I said, God, karma is something else, huh? Everything I ever done to a teacher, ripping them up. And it came right back to me in my life. And then the young girl snapped their fingers all in my face when I'm talking to them. I said, this is truly real. And what I was doing to the teachers happened right back to me. But what really got me is when I went to the lunchroom to eat lunch with the teachers. Teachers bringing in the electric bill, water bills. They was wearing the same clothes every day, some of them.
Oh my God.
And we was just it tore me apart. You know, it's almost I was ignoring what they was talking about because I'm doing my own thing. So more and more they talk about their bills, more and more, but I saw the passion that these teachers had in the classroom, you know, with the students. I never ever heard none of them talk about their bills. I never heard them talk about anything about educating these kids. So I saw something special.
So I'm going to just break you off there because we're going to go to a break in a minute. But that is a fascinating story. That is riveting. To see you now in the same position as a teacher, that's amazing. But I want to talk a little bit more about the passion when we come back off break of teachers. People don't realize that teachers still have passion. There's a lot of things going on about teachers nowadays, and we're going to get right into that after the break.
Christian Living, Christian Living.
Christian Living Radio, spreading the good news of Jesus Christ 24/7. Our goal is to bring you a life-changing word through music and diverse programming like the one you're listening to now. Pastor Kenyatta Goins is the visionary of Christian Living Radio, and he's dedicated to the idea that Christians should even have a more prominent presence in the marketplaces. Maybe you need prayer for yourself and or your family, maybe for a friend. We'd be privileged to stand in the gap for you. If you're listening to this broadcast, click on the Contact Us tab and send us your prayer request. We'd also like to hear from you if you have something on your mind or just give us some feedback. We support many ministries, so maybe you'd like to make a one-time or a monthly recurring donation. We believe that when you sow into these ministries, you'll indeed be blessed. And of course, if you sow into this show in particular, we believe that it's a blessing for you, so please consider sponsoring us. There's a special area under the Donate tab where you can send your monetary gift or call 520-812-6363. That's 520-812-6363 to receive more information about sponsorship. Thank you.
Christian Living Radio.